crazy hair transformation coming to y'all right now. What up, everybody? It's your boy Alex again. We back again with another haircut tutorial. I know y'all see this hair right now. This is a lot, And guess what? We're cutting it all off, chopping it down, except for the top. Cause you know what we're doing today? We're doing a TikTok trend haircut. Okay, this is a pretty popular one. I wasn't even expecting my mans to tell me he wanted to chop it all off, but I love a good transformation. So let me show y'all what I did. Make sure you listen to what I'm saying because I don't want y'all coming for me in the comments because there are certain areas of the hair like around the crown area that I'm going to keep a little bit longer because he wants it a little bit longer to mess with it on top. He wants it nice and messy. Basically, the style we're going for is a skin taper on the sides and back, number 4 all around, and the top is going to be very long and messy so he can just kind of style it forward, up, and just mess around with it. Alright, so let's get into this cut. So as you guys see, I've already went ahead and started on the back. So what I did first was a number 4 guard, lever closed, and I'm using my comb to make sure I don't go too high because like I said, we're going to keep it a little bit longer around the crown area, so that way it can be nice and messy. It's still going to blend in, but you're going to have like just a tiny, like very slight disconnect, and that's going to be because it's just going to be a little bit heavier there so he can kind of have it messy. That's the style nowadays. That's, I'm all about giving the customer what they want. If it's up to me, everything's gonna blend in perfectly, okay? But because we are doing it this way, it's gonna be a slight disconnect. It's gonna be just not even really a disconnect, it's just gonna be a little bit heavier around the crown. So don't come for me in the comments. But anyways, so we got this number 4. We're doing this all around the sides and back. We're not gonna go too high. It's gonna be a mix between clipper and shear work. And as you can see, I'm bringing the guard out as I come up. That way we're not taking it too high and too deep into the hair. What we're doing is we're letting the hair kind of fall gently and just kind of lay down, so that way when we come back later we can use our shears to kind of blend it all in. And the comb is keeping it from just going way too high, so you'll see me like stop the hair, like push the hair down into the clipper with my comb. That way I'm stopping it from just going a little too high and taking too much off. After that 4 on the sides and back, we're going to go ahead and wet the top. Like I said, we're not going to take anything off the top. We're not going to take anything off the front. We're just going to blend, take a little bit off the sides just to make sure it blends into that number 4. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and take our comb and we're going to do a shear over comb work. So you see, we just got it flipped out just a bit. All the long hairs that are hanging over, we're going to have that blend into that 4. First, we got to cut some of the length out, so we're cutting some of that length that's hanging over. After that, we're going to make sure it falls into place into that 4, so it's a nice blend. And now we're going to pull the hair out at a 90-degree angle. Actually, I'm sorry, not 90 degrees. It's going to be, I don't know the exact measurement, but it's like, it's kind of at an angle, so it's like 90 degrees, but then you tilt it out just a little bit, so that way it's a little bit longer going towards the top of the head. So it's going to be kind of at a diagonal angle, and we're going to do that because that way the top will still be a little bit longer, a little bit heavier, but the bottom area will blend in nicely. So then we go ahead, and now you guys can see I got my thinning shears right here. So we got our thinning shears, doing thinning shears over comb, and we're just gonna blend the rest of that into that 4. So all I did was number 4 on the bottom, lever closed. I did not do any blending with the guard at all. I didn't have to. All I did was that number 4 guard, lever closed, to get all that weight off at the bottom, and everything else was gonna be shear work. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and stay on the same side, and we're going to put our number 1 guard on our clipper, lever closed, and we're going to go up. We're going to stay just below the top of the ear. We don't want to go too high. This isn't like a high skin taper or anything. We just want to fade that bottom sideburn area just right into the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and we did our number 1 guard, lever closed, and stayed just below the top of the ear. Now we're going to bald out the bottom with our trimmer. After that, we're going to just fade it like we normally do. So basically we got our trimmer, balding out the bottom, and then we're going to go to our clipper with our lever open, no guard, and go up just like maybe less than a 1/4 inch. So now still kind of staying below that top of the ear, we got our lever halfway open, and then we're going to close it down to a 0. We're just going to blend all that in right there into the skin. We're going to switch back to our trimmer with the corner just to make sure there's no lines blending into the skin there, and then we'll start to taper a little bit higher. Now with our half guard on, lever closed, going up, still just trying to keep it low. It's not supposed to be like a high taper, so yeah, just keeping it low. And we're gonna go ahead and take the half guard off, lever halfway open using just the corner, blend that in. Then we're going up to our 1.5 guard right here, lever closed, going up, making sure we scoop out so we don't go too high or too deep into the scalp. And after that, we're gonna switch to our number 1, lever open, and we are going to close our lever using just the corner and switch back to our half guard. Half guard using just the corner, kind of playing around with that lever to make sure the blend is nice. And then the highest guard we're going to use is going to be the 2, just to kind of blend that into the 4. We're making sure to scoop out so we don't dig too deep. And yeah, 2.5 ish, you know, kind of playing around with that lever. And we're going to go ahead and line everything up and see how it all looks. So this is the number 4 guard still. I'm not going high. What I meant was I'm not going higher than number 4. So we did the 2, and then we switched back to our number 4 just to make sure it's all kind of falling into that number 4 guard that we used earlier. Now, a couple good things to note when you're fading is like once you're done with the fade and you feel like it looks good, make sure to look in the mirror, and if everything still looks good, great, right? Now the other part to it is line it up. Once you line it up, that'll really tell you if the fade is nice and blended and clean. You don't really need to do much else to it. So Now we're going to go ahead and line this side up before we switch over to the other side. We're going to take another look in the mirror, and if the blend still looks clean, like matching with that lineup, then we are good to go, and we can go ahead and move on to the opposite side. So he wanted these like C-cup hooks right here, so just making sure those are nice and clean and sharp. But you can see the bangs area is like really long. That's how the inspo is. That's how we're gonna keep it. And yeah, but the taper looks very, very clean. I'm happy with it, and we're gonna go ahead and line around the ears and then move on to the opposite side. And we're going to do the exact same things on the opposite side. You guys already know, so we're going to go ahead and use the shear over comb first. We're going to go ahead and take a lot of that length off so we don't have to do too much blending with the clipper. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to our thinning shears. That's really what's going to blend everything into the number 4. After that, we are going to go ahead and taper the sideburns out. We're going to do a skin taper, okay? It's going to be more on the lower side. Line everything up. Same thing on the back. Once we get to the back, we're going to do the exact same steps all over again, and also making sure to pull the hair out at a 90-degree angle, but don't, well, I'm sorry, not at 90 degrees, but a little bit further out towards the top, coming in towards the bottom at a diagonal. And we're going to make sure to just trim, it's just a light trim, nothing crazy, just to make sure it falls into place, blending into that 4 towards the bottom, but it's staying a little bit heavier towards the top, so he can mess around with it and style it how he wants to. If you guys know me, you know I love a good transformation haircut. This one is definitely a fun one to do. Chopped it all down, got a nice clean taper going, nice little style on top. I love it personally, so this was definitely a fun one to do. And yeah, you guys just need to trust yourself when you're cutting, man. Like, a couple keynotes to just remember is like, if you're really not sure, start lower. Before it's always best to start lower and start longer. If you're having a miscommunication with your client, start lower, start longer, because you can always make it shorter and you can always go higher. So that would be the best thing to do, or best thing to note when doing a fade on a client where you're just having a kind of a bad miscommunication on what to do. But I hope this tutorial is helping a few of you, and even if you're not looking to learn how to cut hair, I hope you just enjoyed the transformation, because I definitely did. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you already know, leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe, send it to some people. Can't wait for you guys to see the before and after at the end. And just for some added detail work to make sure it's still a nice clean blend, we're just doing a little clipper over comb action, not taking much off, just the little tiny loose hairs that may be sticking out. when the hair is longer, like on the top for instance, I like to use a diffuser to dry it out. It also helps with like kind of styling as well. So just gonna dry it out. Now I do want to note that he does not want product in his hair, so I didn't get to style it how it looks in the video that he showed me for the inspo, but you guys kind of get the idea. It's messy on top, long and messy on top, a slight disconnect, tapered on the bottom with the on the sides and back. And yeah, this is the before and this is the after. I hope you guys enjoyed this haircut. I certainly did. This was a fun one to do, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video.